Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day's going wonderful. I'm so glad you're joining me. Today, I hope your weekends go off to a great start. Today we are creating a card. It's going to be a thank you card, but you could easily switch out the greeting and create any kind of card really, because we are using the Papertrey Ink Leave a Little Thanks stamp set. I just fell in love with this. It has a little bit of distressed look on the leaves. And the leaves kind of remind me of eucalyptus, but not really. But, I mean, so I thought we would create a card with this. And we're just going to jump in with the 5 easy step card. Starting off with step number 1, we're going to create our focal image, which will be these cute little leaves. Okay, let's do some stamping. I'm breaking out my Distress Oxide inks today. We bring in some cardstock, and let me show you the colors. I've had Distress Oxides on my mind. Tim Holtz had came out with some new labels that I had picked up, and so they look all pretty labeled. These were my labels. This one I actually inked over the top, and it didn't work out too well. It faded. And then these ones, Tim Holtz has a label sheet over on their site that you could print it. It's a PDF, so you can print it out. And I had put Scotch tape over it and then taped it down over the top. But you can see I don't get them very neat and orderly. But these ones are nice because they're white and they have a curved edge. So that's why we're using these. I had these on my desk and I thought, oh, let's give them a little love today. So we have peeled paint, salvage patina, saltwater taffy, and festive berries. I'll link the label sheets down below if you guys want to check it out. Actually, if I could find them, I can. Here. I picked up the larger labels, and then I picked up the labels for, it just says small round labels, but I thought I could put these on my blending tools. And this is kind of going off topic, but actually, well, let's see. Kind of trailing from the card, but since I'm here, I thought I would share with you guys these. They have a, let's see, which one would this one be? I would say this one's marigold. I don't have a blending tool for every one, but these will fit perfect on the top. So I picked these up. I don't want to press them down just yet, but they have these ones, and then they also have the minis. I don't have the full size of the Distress inks. I have the mini Distress inks cubes, and I don't have them all either. But they have the small little labels. Let me show you. For the little Distress inks here. So they would fit on the very top piece. So they would fit here. So today's card's going to be really easy, so I thought I'd just keep this in. Normally when I ramble like this, I'll edit it out. But I have this is going to be a pretty quick card. So the labels and these, I'll be linking down below in case you guys want to check it out. And make sure it does make your inks pretty. Let's ink up with these 3 colors here. First, we're going to use saltwater taffy. I'm going to stamp with an acrylic block. You could stamp with your stamping positioner if you want, but this is just going to be nice and easy. And I think I'm going to do this long one here. So let's take this, and I will just ink this one up. And we'll stamp this here. Aren't they pretty, that little distressed look? I love it. Okay, next color, we will be festive berries. Let me clean this off really quickly. When I use Distress inks, Distress Oxide inks, I use my micellar water. Micellar water it's a 50-50 mix. Micellar water and water. Micellar water is actually a facial cleanser. This is what it looks like. And I fill this halfway full and then halfway with water. And it works great for your dye-based inks. because it's very, very gentle and it works great for your distress oxide inks. So that's another little tidbit. Put this back, and then I will grab my next image. We're going to use 3 of the images, and I'm thinking we'll use this one. This one here. This is on the thank you sheet, and I'm going to use my peeled paint. Stamp this here. Lovely. And then we're going to go in with our 3rd image. And I want another smaller one, and I'm thinking we're going to use this one here. This one. And I'm going to stamp this with festive berries. And that's all there is to that. Now all we have to do is take the coordinating dies, and we will cut out all 3 of these leaves. And that will be my focal image. We're going to put these to the side, and now we're going to move along to step number 2, which means we need to create our home panel. I'm going to go real simple. I'm going to bring in a stitched circle die, and we're just going to die cut out a white circle. Now on this one, I'm going to bring in a little bit of my salvage patina, and I'm going to add a little bit of shading on the inside of this. Kind of far away. Let's zoom in a little bit more. And I just really want a light shading. And that will be my home panel. We're going to go ahead and take our leaves. I'm going to layer 2 of them directly on my home panel here. And then with my 3rd one, which is the pink one, I'm going to pop this up with some foam squares. And that's my home panel with my focal image. Let's move along to step number 3 and create our greeting. Let's bring back our stamp set, and we're going to stamp thank you. I'm going to stamp it with my Memento ink. We'll just ink this up and stamp it here. The one that I like is the one that says, "You truly went above and beyond." I think that's really pretty. Let's stamp this. The lovely thing is there is coordinating dies that will cut out both of these. So let's go ahead and take them, and I'll cut these out. I'm going to take some foam squares. I'm going to put a foam square on the back of my thank you. I'm going to put one to the left and one to the right, because this is going to go layered between those leaves here. And I did pop this one up too with foam tape. And I love that the secondary sentiments are scripty. We'll put this to the side. Now we're going to move along to step number 4, which means we need to create our background. I'm bringing in a die set from Papertrey Ink. I've had this for a while. This is called the Cornered Nature's Blooms. They look like roses, and the corner dies are 2 pieces. I just taped them together because I'm going to add this to the bottom. I'll die cut this out, and then I'm going to flip it around, and then I'm going to die cut out the top. So we're going to have blooms along the edge of this background. I'll do that, just making sure they're straight. That makes a really pretty background, but I want to make it a little bit more dramatic. To do that, I'm bringing in another piece of cardstock. It's an A2 panel, and I'm going to do some messy ink blending here. I'm going to use my peeled paint, and then I'm going to, if you kind of look, the leaves are on the corner and they kind of go up like this. Okay, so I'm going to create like a C shape in each one of these corners. And this really is, since this really doesn't have to be perfect, but I do like light and dark areas. That's all we're doing with our peeled paint. Since we do have a little bit of blue in our background, I'm also going to add a little bit of my salvage patina. Let's wipe this off really quickly. In a few sections on top of the peeled paint. Just a few little blue areas. Now we're going to bring in we're going to rosy it up with some saltwater taffy. Okay, and then with my festive berries, we're going to add a little bit of a two-tone here. Now watch when you add your panel right over the top. Look how pretty this looks. You can just kind of adjust it if you want. Doesn't it look so pretty? Now it looks like I need to put a little bit more blue in some sections. So that's what I'm going to do. Bring back my salvage patina, and I'm going to bring in a little bit higher areas with the blue. There we go. And I think that looks really pretty. So all I have to do now is glue this. You could actually do this on the front of your card base if you wanted to. That way you could save a step and you don't have to glue this down and then glue this on top. But that's what I'm going to do. I'll be right back. Somehow I got a little ink here, but no worries because we're going to be covering that with our home panel. I think this is going to go beautiful right here in the middle. I'm just going to add some adhesive behind here. And we will tack this down. Now we're going to move along to step number 5, which means it's time to embellish. I'm going to bring in some white twine. And I'm just going to tie a bow, and then using a glue dot, I'm going to secure it between both of my greetings. Because I do like to add a little extra texture to my cards. So this is going to go right here. I'm going to use some of my Pink Fresh Studio Glacier gems. These are like an ivory color and they have a little bit of an iridescent tint to them. And I'm just going to add a few. Maybe we'll put the bow. I'm thinking I'm going to put the bow above the thank you. I think that will be a little bit more balanced, almost in the center of the circle. I think that looks a little bit nicer. But that finishes my card today. 5 easy steps. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.